Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the SHOUTcraft Invitational Round of 8. Oh yes, it's guaranteed to be an epic matchup, a best of 5 starting here on the Metalopolis. So, without further ado, in the red trunks, I bring you...
TT Esports Whitera!
He is to the west of the Metalopolis. He is, of course, playing Protoss. Yes, indeed. And in the pink trunks, the one, the only...
Millennium Stephano!
He is to the south of the Metalopolis, and he is, of course, playing Zerg. Oh my, oh my, oh my. What a fantastic matchup this is guaranteed to be. Stephano opening up with an extractor trick right there, getting himself an extra little bit of supply. These two are deadly. No question about that. In fact, everybody in my tournament is deadly. Also, no question about that either. Stephano, I believe a couple of days ago, was rank 2 Grandmaster in Europe. He is considered to have the best Zerg versus Terran in Europe, certainly. But his Zerg versus Protoss not quite as strong. Will he be able to deal with Whitera? Opening up with a spawning pool on 14 supply, which is to be expected. Doesn't really want to risk going for a early hatchery. Could have been blocked off by Whitera. Whitera scouting a little bit later. Stephano probably would have been able to get that hatchery up, but again, not really worth the risk necessarily. Spawns in close air positions, very good for him. Himself some nice information of what Whitera was actually doing initially. First assimilator on its way up, gateway and the second pylon. Now, Stephano is going to be hard-pressed to be able to beat Whitera. I don't think there's any question about that, but nobody, and I do mean nobody, should underestimate the might of this particular player. I believe he's actually the youngest player in this particular tournament. If I recall correctly, he is 17 years old, but he's extremely talented. Will he be able to deal with this veteran? We will find out. Stephano having none of that. A little bit of fisticuffs. Our first blood action possibly going on right here. Playing chicken with the probe. And Whitera giving him a little bit of the runaround. And a pylon block. There you go. Stephano is unfortunately unable to place his hatchery for the time being, and we're forced to do something else. Sitting on a ton of money that he hasn't got spent right now. A couple of Zerglings coming down. He'll be able to deal with this eventually, but Whitera manages to delay the hatchery for a good 25 to 30 seconds. So it's a solid plan nonetheless. Whitera opening up single gate, second assimilator to follow it up, another pylon. Nothing particularly aggressive early on. Just starting his warp gate research, and no chrono boost on that either. So looking, as far as I can tell, to go heavy into probes for the moment. There's the chrono boost, there's the cybernetics core, and he also takes a bit of map control. White now, wow, okay, that's going to be a confusing thing. White now, it's Whitera, no, we're not going to do that. Whitera, going to need to take that Xelnaga Watchtower off that Zergling for the time being. But Stephano with a hatchery on the way. As I say, it was delayed, so we'll see how that affects his build. The spawning pool researching the speed upgrade, and already over halfway done on that one. If we have a look at an economic comparison, we can see right here. There's the worker supply count, 27 to 25, but harvester count is in favor of Whitera right now. My God, that is annoying. Wow. Yes, 25 harvesters to 23. How many more mistakes will I make? And it looks like Whitera actually going to open up with a 4-gate. Question is, where will he be able to place it? He has been able to delay that hatchery for Stephano. How aggressive can he really get? Extremely aggressive, certainly. Pylon going at the bottom of the ramp right now. And Stephano with a very gutsy second expansion. Very early on, at the 5.5 minute mark, it goes down. That is a really interesting move. Could be very, very vulnerable to any kind of real aggression here from Whitera. But bear in mind, this may not be an aggressive 4-gate. Could be a defensive 4-gate into an expansion. If you have a look at his mineral count, it is a possibility. It's either that or he's going to do a mass warp in right now. We'll find out. He converts 3, only 3, there's the 4th, there we go. And where is that pylon, if he actually has one at all? It's going to warp in at the bottom, so it's not that aggressive a 4-gate, but it should be pretty difficult to deal with. It's primarily zealots and sentries. Roaches are not on the field right now. Stephano could actually concede a very early loss right here. There's the second pylon coming down. Stephano's creep spread is pretty good right here. He needs to pop out those roaches, and he may have to pull drones. In fact, I'm almost certain he will. And there's a wall-off of the defenses. How many roaches were coming up here? It's mostly Zerglings coming up with that one. Roaches were coming down at the bottom ramp, which is very, very sensible against Protoss. Some damage being done right here to the hatchery. And there we go. Force field back up once again. Needs those roaches. He's got the roaches right now. Does he have the count more to the point to be able to break this one? Zealots now in the line. They're getting taken out very nicely by those roaches. Army count is not looking so great for Stephano right now. Here comes the second wave coming in. We're looking at 4 roaches, 2 zerglings on the field, and those roaches getting torn up. There's the supply block as well for Stephano, losing an overlord. Either that or doing an extractor trick to get there. Those zerglings trapped behind the line. Whitera laying the pain down right here on Stephano. More zerglings coming up, and that hatchery may be lost. And bear in mind, he did cancel his other expansion. Incredibly aggressive early opening build right here. And GG, there we go. The first game of this series goes to Whitera. Very early aggressive 4 gateway push, takes out Stephano, and that's 1 up in this best of 5 series. We'll be right back in just a few short moments, folks. Don't go anywhere. This series has just got started.